Hello, everyone. Dr. Val back for another mini webinar. And today's a really good one. I'm going to talk all about the gender differences between sleep need in men and women. So, first off, how much sleep do adults really need? And depending on who you talk to, like the National Sleep Foundation, American Academy of Sleep Medicine, the range is somewhere between 7 to 9 hours. Most people, according to the CDC data here in the US, I would say are getting that. I guess two-thirds are, and then a third aren't. And there are geographic locations for that. If you go to the CDC sleep data, you can see a lot of the time I practice in Hawaii. I also practice in California, and Hawaii is one of those states where a lot of folks are sleep deprived. Some of the research does show that if you live in a place where there's a lot more natural sunlight, you do stay up longer versus imagine like Alaska in the wintertime when it's darker out, people do tend to sleep more. There may be an issue with melatonin going on there, but yes, for that, what's that? For whatever that is worth, your geography can also impact how much sleep you're getting versus how much sleep you actually need. For adults is somewhere between 7 to 9. I like to think of sleep duration as fuel. Think of it as, your gas tank. You're going from point A to point B. How much fuel do you need in your tank to reach that destination? Certainly, it could be different depending on if it's a lazy weekend day or if it's a super busy week and you got meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. Okay, so some controversy this year. I'm gonna review a article from the sleepfoundation.org, updated March 15, 2024. The title, "Do Women Need More Sleep Than Men?" And really interesting article. And some of the key takeaways for that: women need on average 11 minutes of additional sleep each night. Studies have shown that women fall asleep faster and spend more time in deep sleep, which suggests a greater need for sleep. Maybe. Insomnia, depression, and hormonal changes are common sleep disruptors in women. Yes, definitely agree with that. And then there are gender based responsibilities like caregiving, right? Women typically are the ones who have the babies. And then we also feed them when they're infants. If you're breastfeeding, that can impact how much sleep you're actually getting. So I would, a lot of things in qualifying when I'm giving talks like that, general education, not specific medical advice. It depends on who you're talking to. Certainly, there are times in a woman's life where she may be needing or getting more or less sleep. So as you're going through your period, your monthly menstruation, sometimes you can have difficulty falling asleep because you have cramps and headaches and bloating. Other times you're just so exhausted. I think it's because you're, basically bleeding out. Some people have really heavy periods or losing iron, and then that makes you really, really exhausted as well. Pregnancy, depending on what trimester you are in, sometimes women have restless leg syndrome. Sometimes you have weird aches and pains. Sometimes you're just worried about it, especially if it's your first time. Sometimes there's complications, and that can impact how much sleep you're getting. And then menopause, midlife, perimenopause, things that I love to talk about is that a lot of us can have hot flashes, and not necessarily a hot flash where we're waking up drenched or night sweat. Sometimes our body temperature just rises, and that's the complete opposite of what happens during sleep. During sleep, your core body temperature lowers, and it helps you get a really restful sleep. Yes. So there are disruptions that can happen in a woman's life, depending on where she is along her time span, that can contribute to probably needing more sleep than men. But I really want to talk about this great article, and I will link it in the comments below. It was nicely done in Canada, and they looked at over 4 million people in over 30 countries. So, sleep duration and health in adults, an overview of systemic reviews, right? It was published in October of 2020. So, they basically looked through all the medical literature for 10 years, and they looked at studies that talked about health outcomes and sleep duration, how much time someone needs in adults. And it was really cool. They looked at 14 different health outcomes, and just to cut to the chase, there really wasn't a difference in gender. Yeah, but again, right, this was a huge review study, but I mean, if you're looking at 4 million people, that's a pretty big number, pretty highly powered. I mean, did it cut out, pregnant women versus menopausal women versus women who are breastfeeding? Probably not. But the outcome from this study, really the key takeaway is that 7 to 8 hours of sleep per day was most favorable associated with the different health outcomes they looked at. And, the age didn't necessarily matter, neither did gender. So I want to go a little bit deeper into this to talk about the different health outcomes that they looked at. Eight were identified as critical, looking at mortality, incidence of cardiovascular risk, things like heart attack or stroke, diabetes. They even looked at mental health like depression, brain health, if someone had Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, cognitive functions, like your memory, focus, your attention. They also look at obesity and even like lab tests like insulin sensitivity, glucose tolerance, blood pressure, triglycerides. They looked at bone health and health related quality of life. Like, are you going to work? Are you calling in sick? Physical activity and sedentary behaviors, right? 14 different health outcomes in over 4 million people in over 30 countries. It's a pretty stinking good study. And they, from this article, right, said that there wasn't a higher need for women to get more sleep than men. So that's what I'm taking away from this talk today. Adults do need 7 to 8, 7 to 9 for some people. Find out where you are along that spectrum. I can say personally for me, I feel better probably at 8, maybe 8.5. I can get by with 7. But you want to live your best life as much as possible. And it just depends on what's going on. Sometimes if I drink caffeine or if we're hanging out with friends or, watching some movies, then okay, I'm going to cut out on sleep and it's going to be okay. Tomorrow I'll get the chance to make up on it again. But ideally, folks, if you're going to shoot for an adequate amount of sleep, try to shoot for a 7. If you're not getting that, or if you are getting 7 and you're still tired, talk to your doctor. There may be an underlying condition. Maybe you have obstructive sleep apnea. Could it be restless legs, a circadian rhythm issue? And if you're still tired, there are things like anemia or vitamin deficiencies that are also playing a role. Again, I'm biased because I'm a sleep doctor. I'm going to help you get as much quality sleep as possible. And for women, this would be 7 to 8 for a lot of good health outcomes. If you do feel like you need more sleep, give yourself that time to sleep and really make sleep a priority. All right, ladies, hope you found this video helpful. Until next time, check out some of our other videos. There's webinars, there's shorts, and there's also my sleep basics, which about 3 to 5 minute videos, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how long you talk, about sleep conditions. A lot of the sleep apnea ones are really popular, and I'll probably keep talking about this over and over again because so many people who have sleep apnea are undiagnosed, about to 80% for, all genders. And for women, they say it's 90, even some reports up to 99%, which is ridiculous. So, there's not a lot of sleep doctors out there. If you have any questions, please put in the comments below. But until next time, sleep well. Thank you.